sure I'm going big like a lineman. She want bring the limes in. She wanna pull up to the crib, we can't dine in. Up right away, couldn't even get a vine in. Straight with the money we aligned in. Tell me how they broke, tryna chime in. Jesus watching over, he in diamonds. He the only reason why I do not get violent. Ay, cause he gave me patience. Ay, swear that all makes sense. Ay, when you making bands can make friends. Cause I know they tryna shit like Ray-Bans. Got a bad little shorty wasting. And I own it, I ain't gotta pay rent. Ay, I know we the ones that ain't them. Pull both hands together and I'm saying amen. Cause I'm going big, going big. Everywhere I go, they know the click. Way too many wins, they know the shit. They was hating, know they sick, acting like they know me. Cause I'm going big, going big. Everywhere I go, they know the click. Way too many wins, they know the shit. They was hating, know they sick, acting like they know me. Cause I'm going big, going bigger. Postmates, how I deliver. My game too cold, made it shiver. But I'm still a hot boy, cool down, let it simmer. Ay, see him mad, got him bitter. Can't stop the shine with a dimmer. Only what I give her, and she let her call me baby, but I do not need a sitter. See me dip, yeah, I'm saucing. People at the bank see me often. Let the money run, it's a faucet. She gave me the that's a boss is. Took over the game, now we all in. I was down in the chips, then went all in. Throwing up the game, ain't no vomit. Make my mama stop working, that's the promise. Going big, going big. Everywhere I go, they know the click. Way too many wins, they know the shit. They was hating, know they sick, acting like they know me.
Okay, Coach. Well, with the Ohio River and the hills of Kentucky just to our right, we welcome you into Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
Set. 2. Stop your whining. Out. Kill.
First carry now for Justice Hill. And he'll get this from the 25 to the 30 for a pickup of 5.
You better get in the weight room, son.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
Let him know. 52's the Mike. Watch Mike.
Jackson. Buying time to his left. He'll try and run it. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. Lamar Jackson, such a threat with those legs, able to improvise and get the first. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Here we go.
Jackson from the shotgun. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
I think we'll see more of them trying to get him the football out of the backfield. They love what he can do in open space, and they believe that he creates mismatches they can exploit.
Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10.
SOS.
Hey, check Mike 57. Mike 57. Go.
Hey, that QB's trash. Let's go.
To throw again, Jackson. And his throw here's incomplete.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10.
Hey, motion.
Mike 52.
Wants to run.
From the gun, it's Jackson. That's complete to John Ross. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It's a pickup of 11 and a Baltimore first down.
Right, 52. Mike 52.
That's what I do. Check safety. Spons. No.
They find some open field here. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown.
Let's go.
Lamar Jackson, 52 yards, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Defensively, they told us that the top priority was defending option plays this week, but here on the very first drive, the defense broke down a bit.
It certainly did, and it's really not a surprise because defending option football is difficult. You have to think too much. Most of the time, you just react to what you see and you play fast. Here you're reacting, you're processing. Do I have the back? Do I have the quarterback? Who do I take? Do I take on a blocker? And next thing you know, he's in the end zone.
And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line.
At their own 27-yard line.
Set. 30 base.
What's the mic? They can't hang with us.
5.
The former second-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Ready.
On 2nd down, here's Mixon. And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36.
Gerald McCoy is always going to be linked with Ndamukong Suh. They came into the NFL in the same draft class. There's a lot of debate about who is going to be the better defensive tackle. They just do it 2 different ways. McCoy, more movement, more elusiveness. That allowed him to make the play there for a short gain.
Let's go. 8. Read.
Hey, let's get this.
Hey, orbit.
Mike 41.
Now.
On 3rd and 2, Kane looks to throw, fires right side. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down. This is away and a very good kick angled for the sidelines. This one will sail out of bounds. It'll depend on the spot here. And the side judge says that went out at the 7-yard line.
Let's go old school there. That's absolutely a great coffin corner punt. Someone's put some time in working on that, hasn't it?
Seems like every year these guys get better and better. It's amazing how they can command that football through the air.
Yeah, they used to actually practice with hula hoops where they place them and try and put them there. Now a lot of guys use barrels on the sidelines to try and put the football in one.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. On 2nd down, it's Hill. And a productive gain out to the 14 after starting at the 7. It's a gain of 7.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
Jackson looking to throw on 3rd. Got a man. It's Brown. And he's going to have the first down as he's marked down just shy of the 20. First connection there of the afternoon for those two, and it's good for a first down.
Single.
They'll throw on first down with Jackson. He's going to wind up and air it out into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jesse Bates, and the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line.
Partner, when you're playing cover 2, this is like a tag team for the safeties. Each of them gets a half-field responsibility. Their job, stay as deep as the deepest receiver in any zone, read the football, and go make a play. In this case, the free safety made the best play, an interception.
And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. 18 yards on that one, and the Bengals are moving. First down.
First and 10 at the 40-yard line.
Ready. 360 outlaw.
Mike Fofo, I'm going to run you over. I'm going to run you.
Hey.
44's the
Big river.
On 1st and 10, Kane, and he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Jordan Evans came in there hard on the blitz and got him down 9 yards behind the line of scrimmage. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here.
Hey, seam 6. 44. Go. 44.
Back to throw. Kane going deep for Diggs. That's caught inside the 20. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. It's a gain of 34. So after the big play, look at this, all the way down at the 15 now on 1st and 10. Out of the shotgun, they run with Mixon. And able to surge forward for about 5 yards down to the 10. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
And he's got his big tight end, Eifert, and it's a Bengal touchdown.
That's what I'm talking about.
Tyler Eifert, his 3rd touchdown now on the year, as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. Extra point from McManus is good, and we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at the 40. From the gun, Jackson. This will be caught by Brown. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore 1st down.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
Jackson. Wide open receiver complete. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. So even with the pass interference, it's a completed pass. They'll go ahead and just take the play instead.
How about the effort? Making the catch despite the pass interference. Nothing else to be gained on the play. No need to take the penalty. The play stands.
Here's Jackson. His throw caught at about the 5. This game not quite as good as the last, but still over 40 yards between the two. This offense can certainly move quickly when they want to. 2nd down. Jackson to the end zone, but it's incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Mark Andrews, there. But now it's 3rd and goal. Now, do you put it in your quarterback's hands again? That's the question here on 3rd and goal. They'll run it with Hill. What a stand so far defensively, and now that's going to bring up a 4th and goal. Well, let's see what they do. They're knocking on the door here in the 2nd quarter.
And you know what you look at on your play sheet? Your 2-point conversion plays. Because you've drawn up a number of them in today's football. You don't just have 1 or 2 for the game. You have more like 6 or 7. Which one do you like here? Because that's essentially what you're going for right now. That spot of the field, call one of those and go get 6.
So it's an old-school extra point that counts 3 times. So it's certainly a disappointment they weren't able to get it in the end zone.
Yeah, I can just imagine post-game, head coach looking at the box score, 19-yard field goal, grimacing a little bit, but having to realize that at that moment, getting 3 points was vital. Go ahead and get the points, put them on the board.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 40. It's Mixon on the counter, and an alley to run. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. After the penalty, it's Mixon. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up 2nd.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Looking to throw. Kane. And that is intercepted on the sideline. Wait, no. They'll say no. It was caught out of bounds. So this is just an incompletion here. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Hey, exit.
Operating from the gun. Kane, he's going to look deep down the field. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down.
Nothing open downfield, and he had to get that one out in a hurry because he just knew he was about to take a big shot. Probably couldn't get his legs into the throw. Became an all-arm throw trying to check it down to his running back. Incomplete.
Fielded at about the 28.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
At their own 45-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 as they've got it to the 28-yard line. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. William Jackson with a pick. And to the 12. That's where it stops. The return is halted at the 12-yard line.
Keep doing that.
This interception will go on the record of the quarterback, but as a receiver, you've got to understand where you are in the field. Middle portion, you know it's going to come in hot. Square your body to the quarterback and be ready to make the catch.
And now a throw here secured by his running back out of the backfield. Call it no gain there on the 1st down play.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 21, and they'll have the ball set up in the red zone at the 16-yard line. They're trying to resurrect his confidence. Last week was a disaster. 5 interceptions in that loss, and another pick there.
I played with a quarterback like this before, and he had a tough game, and the head coach said, I'll take him, I'll fix him. The very next game, he started out the exact same way. The head coach turned to the offense coordinator and said, he's yours from now on. Someone has to take responsibility.
Got a man, it's caught for a Ravens touchdown. Miles Boykin with touchdown number 7 on the year as the Ravens push further out in front. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive as we grind toward the end of the season here, and they haven't had the season that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look to make some changes?
I think when you look into the upcoming draft, think hard about them drafting multiple offensive linemen. They've got to get stouter up front. And as a GM always tells me, Charles, this is a big boy league, and big people always end up winning games for you.
On second down now, Mixon. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. Third down just got a lot tougher. That will officially go as a loss of 7.
Here we go. 8, read.
So we got man.
Go.
Hold the look, hold the look, hold.
Hey, high 7.
23 is the mic. Watch the run, watch the run. Watch the run.
On the ball. Let go.
To throw on third down, Kane. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And that's caught inside the 30. A big play there for Cincinnati. 48 yards. Obviously, they're not where they want to be right now on the scoreboard. Big plays like that, though, that'll trend them in the right direction.
Yeah, a few more like that, they'll be right back in the game. And if they can continue to do that, maybe they'll inspire their defense as well. They'll get a few stops.
On first down, Kane. And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line. So second and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. Here's a throw over the middle. It's taken in by his tight end. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 17-yard line.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do, and it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He told his quarterback, just make sure you throw it up there. You know, kind of like put up on the top shelf where the kids can't get it.
A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. That play gets him 6 yards and sets them up with a first and goal.
94. All
right.
From the gun, Kane.
No.
Looking for Tate, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Tavon Young. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Oh, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw? And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Marcus Peters. They are in an interception mood on defense. Had 2 nice interceptions a week ago. Now 2 here in the first half.
Yeah, we call it ball hawking. And the only way to truly be good ball hawks is not guessing. It's not just simply anticipation. It's study and understanding what they like to do and beating them to the spot and creating big plays.
They're watching the film, and it's working. Throwing here to start the drive as they connect left side. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Give them 17 at a Cincinnati first down.
Got it.
43 is the mic.
First and 10 at the 23-yard line.
Ready.
Throwing on first down. Kane. And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off inside the 5. Past the 10 to the 11-yard line. And that's where the return stops. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, so here we are in December, right? It is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw. It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Dancing to his left. And now he's going to use his legs. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a third down situation.
So many times we talk about having good eye discipline when you're playing defense, making sure your eyes are in the proper place on a given play. Looks like that discipline came to the front there, didn't it? They were able to hold him for a short gain when he took off running.
This time they stay on the ground. And the tackle made at the 13. He is well short of the first. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. On fourth down, out is the punter, Cameron Johnston, to boot it away. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And that'll kick and go out of bounds just outside the 15 at the 16-yard line.
At their own 16-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right, take the knee, get out of here, regroup. But how will the head coach and his staff approach halftime? Will it be angry? Will it be clinical? Will they be calm? Will they just let it all out? Who knows? I'm going to be a fly on the wall for this one, though.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never wanted to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there.
But this is I'm
doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. A quick throw there out to Williams. And he'll get this from the 25 to the 30 for a pickup of 5. That catch good for 5. It's third down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Back to throw. Kane escaping the pressure right. And time finally runs out. He can't get rid of the football, and he's taken down. Deshaun Hand in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. Here's Ryan Allen now. 46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. This is taken at the 23. It takes a touchdown-saving tackle to bring him down as he goes 32 yards on the return. And the Ravens set up well to begin their drive as it'll begin in enemy territory already. Jackson on first down. He's got his man. It's Andrews. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Jackson. Nick Vigil leading the surge there as he drops him for a loss of 6. So they come out of the locker room trailing, but plays like that, they won't be trailing much longer. Defense really starting out well this second half.
Yeah, they knew they had to jumpstart things a little bit. They really struggled in the first half trying to slow them down, but now they had a plan, made that adjustment that we always talk about, and it worked very well on that play.
52's the mic right here over there, right? 52's the mic.
From midfield now, here's Jackson. Over the middle, complete. That's Andrews. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Mark Andrews, his 2nd touchdown on the season as the Ravens push further out in front. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit, get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast, game the second half, no matter what, whether it's first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever, this was a big score to start the second half.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Bengals drive about to get going. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense?
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off at about the 31. And he will score. Touchdown, Baltimore. This D wanted to put it away before we even get to the 4th quarter, widening that margin a bit further.
And while they won't just empty the bench just yet, if you're a backup, start loosening up. I think you'll get a chance to play before this one is over now with that type of a cushion.
Tucker now to add the point after. And the lead is now 24. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. And they just had that pick 6. I guess the only positive maybe them returning that for a touchdown. This offense right back out onto the field to try to make up for it.
I like that because now it doesn't give them a chance to go to the bench and really settle. You know, to sit there and kind of seethe over the idea that they turned the ball over previously. Right back out there. It's almost like hopping right back on the bike after falling over. See if they can get the ball moving again.
We'll see if they can do it here. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. Taken in at the 22. So dangerous with a football in his hands. Call that a return of 38. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll try to get the offense going with Hill. And he works free. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That burst good for 20 and a 1st down.
Not today, you are. Not today.
On 1st down, Richard. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. They'll keep it on the ground. Richard, and he's only going to get a yard from the 20 to the 19.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
On 3rd down, Jackson. A dump off now to Hill. And he'll only get this to the 14 as he'll come up well short of the 1st down. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll be 4th down.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. And I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the 1st down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the 2nd half. Tucker now following the made field goal, set to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Bengals drive about to get going. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jack.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Tremaine Edmonds, the linebacker. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran a wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Here's Hill one more time. That's what they needed. It's an 8-yard gain, and now 3rd and 4 suddenly doesn't look so bad. That'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down.
Well, they have had success when he keeps the ball in the option, but not there. I mean, you just saw exactly why many old NFL coaches would say, don't use your quarterback in the running game.
So that one is his 3rd of the game. Now, if you're wondering, that's only halfway to his career high as he once had 6 field goals.
Brandon, 6? Let's hope we don't get that again, please. Okay, can we see a few touchdowns here and there?
That'd be nice. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. Back now in Cincinnati. It's the Bengals. They've got the football, but they trail here as we get rolling in quarter number 4. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
I'm coming after you. Short.
Mike, 41.
A first throw for the backup Griffin.
Push him back.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. J.J. Watt in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18.
Let's go.
And now the first throw for the backup quarterback. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I
we share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones, and it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it #1 for what we've seen this season. I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
On third down, it's Hill. And they will stop him short. They get him to the ground at the 27. No first down. 4 yards on the pickup there, but it's going to take him to 4th down. Here's Cameron Johnston now as he'll punt it away for the second time. And he'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. So out of bounds on the punt, and the spot will be, the side judge says, right at the 35-yard line here. The Bengals drive about to get going. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35.
Let's set a tone, fellas. Let's set a tone.
Throwing again. Griffin. Sliding out of the pocket. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. Another pass attempt, another incompletion, and they're just a little over 100 yards passing here in this game, so defensively, pretty good job.
Definitely, because they were never really able to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, so a lot of credit to the defensive game plan, and especially the execution.
On 3rd down, Griffin. And the throw there going to be incomplete. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Now this is fielded in the end zone. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Ravens will get it. 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? The best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions because the game certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now. Call it a loss of 2 on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 12.
At the 27-yard line.
Ready? Choose the mic. Right. Over there, right? 52's the mic. Tackles, tackles.
He's coming, he's coming, he's coming.
Leo.
Double up.
Again, it's Hill.
I got you, boy. I got you, boy.
They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down. At this stage of the game, with the score where it is, the key here, stay in bounds, and he did just that. Not by a huge margin, but he stayed in.
And those come up in what we like to call winning edge meetings. The things that you have to do, late game situations, kicking situations, doesn't matter what it is, the things you have to do to win a game, and that comes up in that meeting, then you practice it, they've got to be happy to see it executed, being able to stay in bounds and work the clock.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Hill. And some room to maneuver. 25 yards to pick up there, and also a first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter.
Check.
Richard fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
And now it's 2nd down, but here's the field goal team out onto the field. This will be kicked from the 42. It's a 52-yard attempt. And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe. And they're well on their way now as the lead grows even larger. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the fourth.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
Tucker now following the made field goal, set to kick it away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll get it up just past the 20, and his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake the...
And the pressure getting to RG3. He's brought down for the sack. The man wreaking havoc there, Gerald McCoy, the D tackle.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start. Now look out, Griffin hit, and he lost the football. It's loose, and it's picked up by the Ravens. And he will bring it back to the 4-yard line.
Our ball.
So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. They've got it first and goal in a game that appears to have already been decided. Tucker's kick is good. And that will just add 3 more to a lead that's already out of hand. So yet another field goal to end a drive. That has been a very common theme. He's now hit 5 of them in this game.
Yeah, Brandon, as an offense, you hate that you've had to call on your kicker so often. But you have to love the fact that time and time again, he's come through.
And an alley to run. He's at the 50, the 30, the 20. And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late, but he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man. Still down very big on the scoreboard, but a little feather in their cap here.
And it's a big-time play, and if you don't get energized after a kick return, well, then your team just doesn't have any spark. We'll find out if this is the start of a big comeback or just cosmetics as we go along.
Oh, it's a fake. They'll try and throw for him. His pass caught at the 4. And he will get into the end zone to cut the lead a little bit further. And that's something you almost never see nowadays. When you fake it, you're at the 15-yard line on a PAT as opposed to just going for it from the 2.
I'm sorry. I know they got it, and congratulations to them, but it's just not a good play. I mean, the risk-reward is really off the charts. Not in your favor.
We got this.
Run your offense out there. Put it on the 2-yard line if you want to go for 2. But I'll be darned. They ended up getting that one, didn't they?
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point.
Loss of a yard. Brings up 2nd and 11 at the 20-yard line.
Let's go. This is Mike. Pittsburgh. Watch Mike. Watch QB drop. Watch QB drop. Set up.
And they'll take a knee as the clock runs under a minute to play.
A loss of a yard on the play. And it's 3rd down.
So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. And they will take a knee here.
Huntley on the keeper. A loss of a yard. Brings up
Now a final chance to stop it here as a timeout comes in with 10 seconds left in the game. Here's Cameron Johnston now, standing right on his own 5-yard line. And now a high kick here as he'll try to hang it up there. So they will accept the penalty and move forward.
Come on now. Let's go.
Now McManus will line up for the field goal. It'll be a 47-yard attempt from the left hash. And the kick here is good, so add 3 to the total, but they're still coming up well short, and that is how this one comes to an end. Well, this one provided some good drama down to the very end. That last kickoff return, for a moment thought he might break it, but in the end, they get the tackle and stop the drama.
You were starting to have more fun, weren't you?
Well, I was starting to stand up.
Yeah, you were into that one. Who knew? We thought maybe they might get that miracle finish that they were looking for. Didn't quite get it done.
So for Baltimore, it's a big win here as they move to 11-4 now in the year. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Bengals, it just keeps getting worse as they're going to fall to 1-14. And they'll try and turn things around next week as they have a date at Soldier Field with the Chicago Bears. And for Charles Davis and our